So, Enzo Maresca has now been confirmed as the new Manchester City manager and will lead the City team or squad into the 26-27 season. Now, it seems not many people was very happy about this, and Chelsea have released a club statement. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. And right now, we're going to hear a few words from the new Manchester City manager.
Hello, City fans. I'm very, very happy to be back. Looking forward to meet all of you. See you soon. Come on, City.
They give him permission to speak to Man City. That's key. They give him permission. They didn't expect him to leave in the middle of the season, and it seems it's rubbed them the wrong way.
The news has come through to us that Manchester City have appointed Enzo Maresca as their new head coach, 3-year contract. It's his third spell at the club. But no sooner had Manchester City done that than Chelsea gave their version of events. In autumn last year, the club was informed by our former head coach that there might be an opportunity for him to succeed Guardiola at the end of the season. It became clear to us it was his strong desire to succeed Guardiola, and that he was fully committed to pursuing the opportunity. We felt let down as we believed that his head and his heart were focused on another club and another opportunity, despite having just arrived at Chelsea the year before. And the plot thickens somewhat because in the last few moments, Maresca himself has issued a statement saying, in December 2025, I made the difficult decision to leave Chelsea. The decision was only mine. I recognise that my departure from Chelsea in the middle of the season caused disruption for the club, and I apologise for that. TalkSport's chief football correspondent Alex Cook joins us live in studio. It's getting busy in here, is it not? But that's how we like it. What's your take on this?
Well, it feels like Chelsea have played a blinder, to be fair. £17 million compensation, as we understand it, from Manchester City.
Obviously, that's an unconfirmed fee. As Crook there is saying that's what they heard. No fee has been released by Man City or by Chelsea. So this is something that he's just saying. Basically, it's a rumour, what he's been told. But that's not actually a confirmed fee by either club.
A compensation agreement from Enzo Maresca himself. I think that apology is also part of the settlement package, if you like. And, yeah, fair play to them. I think this is football clubs taking control of their managers. And it's interesting, just speaking to a few sources connected to this situation, I've been told in the last 10 minutes or so that, yes, they granted Maresca permission to speak to City about potentially replacing Guardiola at the end of the season, as they say in their statement, and that when he came back from that meeting, he was a different character than the one that went into it. So I think he forced his exit. I think he was hoping that they would fire him. They didn't do that. And obviously in the end, he had to walk away. On New Year's Day, I think it was quite a dramatic departure.
Well, this is the thing. Chelsea's granted him permission. So why didn't Chelsea say, oh, no, we want you to stay. We want you to be a part of our future. We don't want you to go to Man City. So we're not going to grant you the permission to go and speak to them. But imagine if you was an employee and you went to your bosses and you said, yeah, I want to go and speak to this other firm. They want to hire me. And the bosses said, yeah, that's fine. You go and speak to them. You go and test the waters. You're going to feel you're going to feel not valued as an employee by that firm. So what did they expect? He's literally gone there. They've given permission. City's been like, we want you as the manager. Well, Chelsea didn't show much to keep him. Chelsea didn't show much restraint by saying, yes, go and speak to them. What did they expect?
Manchester City was always going to be his next destination, and Chelsea were always going to make it difficult in terms of the financial settlement. So I think Chelsea at the moment are the big winners from this. But it did obviously deny them European football because they appointed Liam Rosenior, and the season turned into a bit of a car crash after that.
Simon, I know you've been following this closely, and I know you've been getting information at the highest level. But Chelsea haven't missed them on the way out here, have they? A confidential settlement has also been reached with the former head coach, under which he will pay compensation.
Yeah, well, with he, we mean Man City. I think they've been quite restrained, Chelsea, quite frankly, in what they could have said. I quite like the idea that managers are now getting what they so richly deserve, which is some of the things they do being made accountable for. You saw Dermot Desmond serve up Brendan Rodgers, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. You see this situation, and I think they've been quite restrained. I think they might feel that people like Cucurella and Fernandes were given license to say things by their manager, perhaps. You know, I saw, you know, back in the day, I did this to Dowie, and I did it to Steve Bruce, because I wasn't having any of it. I got vilified for it. And I think people are now looking at it going, chairman and owners speaking out and calling it as they see it, and people being informed. Of course, if you don't like the ownership model, you'll turn around and say, well, that's just your version of events. But it's wonderful, isn't it? When I made the difficult decision to leave Chelsea, knowing that I was going to Manchester City. I mean, what a load of old pony. I mean, absolute self-serving nonsense. But there you are. That's what gets you the best jobs in football.
Listen, at the end of the day, Man City are the best, one of the best clubs in world football. Who wouldn't want to take the Man City job? Enzo Maresca has been given the opportunity, and he's worked there before, and he knows what that institution is like. He knows he's going to get backed. He knows he will have time. He won't have a great deal of time, but he will have time to build that squad, and he knows City as a football club are going to give him the utmost respect and everything he needs to succeed. Why wouldn't he want to join there? From Chelsea. From Chelsea, he were known to continually sack managers. So why wouldn't he want to join a club he has worked with and knows everyone and knows the club itself inside out? It's a no-brainer for him.
Let's turn to something very interesting that's broken today, because I think for all of you will have a view about this. But Manchester City and Chelsea have come to some arrangement over the appointment of Enzo Maresca as the new City manager. Obviously, he walked out on Chelsea mid-season, and it turns out the City, I think, have paid 17, 18 million pounds settlement, 17 million. But also, there appears to have been a payment from Maresca, presumably paying back some of his money, I would think, for that season. Simon, what do you think of this?
Well, I quite like it, actually. It's twice this season. If you saw the statement that Chelsea put out, they properly had a go at Maresca.
Yeah.
And I know Egbali quite well, so I knew some of the backdrop and was sort of feeding it through the TalkSport network without being too indiscreet about the circumstance surrounding Maresca. Look, we've seen twice this season owners having very robust and strong views about managers' conduct. Now, Daichi won't like this, but these buggers get away with murder. 20 years ago, I took Ian Dowie to court for fraud, and I injuncted Steve Bruce because managers, can do as they want, when they want, how they want. And Maresca, I think, behaved poorly. I think the worst thing that could have happened.
Hey, come on, Daisha, jump in here, lad. You can't let him get away with this. You better pipe up with something here, Daisha.
Happened to Chelsea and Maresca was for him to win the World Club Championship, because I think automatically he went up like a peacock. And I think his behaviour at Chelsea towards Man City and the manner that he wanted to leave. He made a statement, and he's come back with an interesting statement where he's talked about how he apologises to the Chelsea fans for the manner in which he left. I think that was a conditioned precedent of the release that Chelsea put on him in terms of you've got to put a statement out. And also, I don't think it's particularly sincere. He knew he was leaving to go to Man City. All Chelsea asked him to do was stay till the end of the season. And so it's interesting, you've seen twice now, owners, Dermot Desmond went right after Brendan and said, pack it in, you and your nonsense. And Chelsea have done the same thing. And I think, as Sean will no doubt raise his eyebrows and yawn, I think it's about time some of these managers got brought out into the public domain, because sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Well, look, before Sean does raise his eyebrows...
Are you a bit surprised? Sorry, just quickly.
Go on, John.
Are you a bit surprised that an agreement couldn't be made between Enzo and the Chelsea board to stay till the end of the season? Or did Enzo see what was due to come in the later stages of the league?
I think he did. I mean, his statement, he says at the end of December 2025, I made a difficult decision to leave Chelsea. The decision was only mine. My resignation from Chelsea opened a path for me to join Manchester City.
How can Simon Jordan say it's bullshit? How can Simon Jordan chirp in there and say bullshit? At the end of the day, you don't know what Enzo Maresca and Chelsea went through together. You don't know if it was bad or good terms that they left, or what got said in the meeting rooms. So like you can't just call at the end of the day, without no backing or no proof, you can't just say bullshit. You've got to take the man for his word.
Which is a club I knew very well. I'm ecstatic. I've now joined City, recognised my departure from Chelsea in the middle of the season caused disruption, and I apologise for that. It wasn't my intention nor wish. That last bit I find extremely disingenuous, because I think he clearly got tipped a wink that Guardiola was likely to leave, and he was the anointed one, and he had to be available to do that.
Yeah, I always say,
hang on, Sean, let me read you what the club... And the club statement, which, as Simon said, is very stinging, said no club wants to change its head coach midway through a season. However, in light of his decision not to continue fulfilling his responsibilities through the end of the season, the club was left with no choice but to protect our players, our supporters and the badge and accept his resignation. I mean, you know, it's obvious what happened, isn't it?
Yeah, but hang on, Chelsea, I don't like to pick on clubs, but that's a club. They have been getting rid of managers pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's maybe thought, right, I've done my bit. We don't know, and I'm not going to put you on the spot.
Well done, Daisha. Well done. Well done, mate.
JT, because I know you love the place, and rightly so. But we don't know what the noise is inside. We don't know the interference, which I've heard, allegedly. Lots of interference, lots of different voices, lots of people trying to do your job. Maresca, I think, did a good job overall, and we don't know what was going on in the camp. So therefore, you apply that. We don't know how much he was getting other voices, and he thinks he's doing a good job. So he's going, why is everyone questioning me? Then in the end, OK, the way it's handled, that could have maybe done better by all parties. But the bit me and Simon have had a disagreement about before, or certainly a heated debate about, is this idea of managers getting away with murder. What about when you lose 2 games and they get rid of you? Come on, it's not a level playing field. You can't say managers get away with murder. Managers now are under more scrutiny, more angles, more people in the club, let alone outside of the club, asking, why are you doing this, why are you doing that, why are you doing answering to all and sundry.
Sean, they do get gigantic...
And they lose a few games, they get rid of them.
If they do get fired, they get gigantic payoffs for being often completely...
Yeah, and if someone comes in from, they get gigantic payments for the manager if they do a good job.
And that's a fact. Managers do get big payments. But at the end of the day, managers want to win. Managers don't want to go to a club, not be allowed to build their own team, not be allowed to show their brand of football, not even allowed to pick the players, and then get sacked because their ideas, what they had in plan, could not come to fruition because the clubs didn't give them the tools they needed. They give them the job, but oh no, you've got to take this player. Oh no, we're not selling him. Oh no, he's got to stay at this club. Do you know? So managers do have it hard. Like they don't get their own way and they don't do what they want. That's a BS statement for Simon. But I don't want to keep this going on too long. There's one other little segment. Gavin Neville chirped in with his little 50 pence. So we're going to see what he had to say about Enzo Maresca joining Manchester City.
Yeah, I mean, nothing less than winning is going to be accepted at City with what's gone on over the last sort of 10 years, and obviously with the players that they have, the squad that they have, the fact that they've won trophies last season. So he's going to be in a slightly different position, well, a very different position than he has been. Obviously, when he goes to Chelsea, they do have expectations to win, but probably right now not at the same level as Manchester City. So, look, he knows the club. He's probably thinking this is the perfect moment in terms of his career. He's obviously had a good upbringing in terms of his coaching sort of journey. But this is the ultimate task. He's got to go in and become a champion. You think of what Mikel Arteta's done over 5 or 6 years at Arsenal. He's had to prove to himself and to everybody in the country that he can become a champion manager. Enzo Maresca's going to have to go and do that now at City straight away because, like you said...
Hold on. Why does Maresca have to go and do that straight away? Why is Maresca expected to go into Man City and win everything straight away? Mikel Arteta... 5-6 years to win 1 Premier League title. You know, so why is Maresca got to go in there and do it straight away? He doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to go and win the league next season. You know, so that's BS again. No, he doesn't.
Finishing second and third and getting Champions League football is not something that's going to be accepted. He's going to have to win pretty quickly in his first couple of years, I would think, at that Premier League title.
I don't think he has to go in there and win everything or a Premier League title in his first year, maybe not even his second. As long as he is consistently challenging and going maybe far in the Champions League, he'll get the backing from Man City, as we've seen Carl doing he is a special, special chairman. I don't think there's a chairman like him in the old football league or in the old footballing world. He's very understanding, and he knows what it takes to be an absolute winner. I'm sure Enzo Maresca will learn a lot from Khaldoon. But anyway, that's it. Enzo Maresca is the new Man City manager. Can't wait for next season. Get it started. Let's see how it goes. Like and subscribe if you like the content. Thanks a lot.